We tried to reach out to the man who died in this pursuit. They were unavailable for comment. Micah, back to you.
All right.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WO Radio Show.
That's right.
I'm Richie King, bad man of comedy.
Yes, he is.
He's back.
Yes, I am.
He's back. His eyes all focused. His nose still works. His teeth are in his mouth. So he's ready to go.
I'm ready to somebody and I can see you now.
Yeah, I can see you now. We got a good show for y'all lined up. We got Dan Landi and Heath Gilbert. Although Heath Gilbert here first, Dan Landi's running late. One job, Dan. One job.
You had one job, bud.
One job. But he's on his way to come here. They're going to give us an update on how their plot is going for the books in the schools, school libraries.
Yeah.
If you guys remember, these gentlemen that picked up the tip of the sword, right? They picked it up and they ran with it and ran for election and then things like that and try to do everything they can to get the filth out of our children's hands who don't need it in their hands. So they're going to be here to talk about all that plus other stuff. We have a new entry tonight for the Idiot Family.
Yes, we do.
Okay. These people vote. He's backstage. We'll bring him on in a second. He was going over some of these Idiot Family videos. Some of them he hadn't seen. That's how long since he's been here. And he was, I don't know how he contained himself on some of the crap. Oh. But Dean Cerny, thank you, brother, for joining in.
Hey, welcome.
You welcome as always. All right, without further ado, guys, we're going to bring in Heath Gilbert. I've known him for several years now. Know his dad. His dad worked at Warrior Fest for us for Levi Garrison Sons Brewery. And we thank them guys for that. They're patriots of this country, and they took up a hell of a plight. So we're going to talk about it today. Dan Landi will be on since he gets here. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a WO Radio Show welcome to Heath Gilbert. He's back. What's up, brother?
Hey, welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Guys, let me know out there if you can hear him. I think he should be tuned, and I see the light bouncing when he talks. So already got a like. Thank you all very much for that. Aunt Shirley, appreciate the like. Guys, get a like and share out there. Get some love. This is important stuff, man. Share it out to everybody that you can share this thing out to. If you get a share, man, share some more.
Yeah, okay? Share it as much as you can.
And then nobody knows what's going on except you. So get it out there, please, and see what's going on, what you can do. But before we get to Heath,
okay,
I got a rant.
Okay, here we go.
Should there not be a law against people like retail companies or someone who's in the business of selling you something? Shouldn't there be a law that if they lie to you, you should get all your money back plus a fine?
Yeah.
Plus fee.
And plus the product free.
Product free. Or if you don't want that piece of crap, you send it back.
Send it back, you right back. Yeah.
But shouldn't there be a law like that? Because there's so much. Come on in, Dan. There's so much of that going on in this country. People buy something, or you buy solar panels, they turn out to be crap, or whatever. It turns out to be crap. I'm just thinking, and if you don't pay, you're under contract. You got to pay. They hit your credit. Okay, so should there be a law that they should work on your side too?
There's absolutely should be some consumer protection.
Yeah.
Welcome to Common Denominator. I believe that's Vincent. Brother, thanks for tuning in. Share this out, brother.
Yeah, hey.
So that being said, I feel like everybody's being Kamala'd. Being Biden. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah. All right, guys.
Most definitely.
Let's we're here now. We're full. We're doing what we need to do.
Yes, we do.
I'm gonna take a second to share out. Guys, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
I know you guys took up the spear here, and I tell you, there's a lot of people out there that appreciate what you two have did. I know you ain't been the only ones, but you two seem to be the ones out in front. And guys like you and Common Denominator, Vincent Cooper over there, man, he's just putting out content. He's been banned on some of the content he's put out about this. I had a chance. One of you, I think it was Heath, sent me some of what we were talking about there, some of the lyrics, if you will, words. And I'll tell you something, I'm about 6 foot, depending what police station I leave, about 252, Marine, MMA fighter, grown-ass man. And I read some of that stuff, and I'm like, this is disgusting.
Some of that stuff make a sailor blush.
Some of that's just disgusting. Okay. And I've seen a lot of things, I'm one of them guys that when Donald Trump, and guys, if you tuned in tonight, you you're going to hear some language. I'm sorry. This is a veteran operated show. We have no filter, some of us, okay? But I remember when everybody talking about Donald Trump, he said, grab some pussy. Hey, I've been married twice. I grabbed some, okay? Hey, so what? So what? What men talk about, a lot of people, I don't want to hear that. Well, okay, go ahead. Walk away. It's not like that. This is something where people need to walk in and step in. And I've learned a lot of things when you guys, I learned that schools have their own laws, which I heard that term thinking, no, they got the same laws everybody else got. But apparently not. Yeah. Some schools got a certain person who enforces laws, supposed to be, but yet you get school shootings and threats to schools and stuff.
Yeah, they got their own police department here in Cameron.
Yeah, so
I don't know how many officers they have too. I think if I'm wrong, somebody correct me, but I think that's all they have.
And you guys took up with that. So tell us, since you've been here last, how are things on your flight?
Right ahead. Well, Richie, it's been 19 months since we first came to the school district with the first of, we're up to about 120 books now.
120.
They have reviewed about 80 of them, and they've got 34 that they have restricted. And the restricted means you have to be 18 or older to read it on your own or to get parental consent. And it's been a fight to get them just to do that much. We have, and I think that's part of what Dan and I want to talk about tonight. They have not at any point, the board nor the district, has sat down with the community and said, here is where we stand on these books. This is what is acceptable. This is what is not acceptable. They have not justified any of these books. We ask the question frequently, what's the curriculum objective for this book? Because the library in a school district is supposed to complement the curriculum objective for the kids. The book should be, and their policy requires that when they're picking these books, that they contribute to the curriculum. They won't tell us how any of these dirty books contribute to the curriculum. What is the educational value? They won't answer any of those questions. They're still treating us all like mushrooms.
If y'all don't know what that means, it means it's keeping you in the dark and feeding you shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's exactly. That's good. That's good. I'm the comedian here. You guys, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You said it a while ago. 18 years old. Isn't there a law in the state of Missouri against child porn? Children having porn, being presented porn, people giving child porn. What the hell's wrong? I mean, is that all not being enforced? What do we do?
Yes and no. The law allows a carve out for public schools.
A carve out.
Yes.
I don't.
Okay.
Okay.
If I stood on the corner outside the high school and I had those books in my hand and I read them to the kids as they were coming to school, the cops would come and put me in handcuffs.
Rightly so.
But because that same book is inside the walls of the school district, those laws don't apply. Because now, because of the difference of 10 feet, it's educational because it's on school property.
Just because something is educational don't need to be taught.
Well, there's a lot of
things. If I being in the Marine Corps, they taught me how to kill 206 different ways. Do you want your high school student to know how to kill somebody 206 different ways?
No.
It's educational.
Yeah.
Right.
He's going to learn eventually, or she. Okay. That makes no sense. This state is like that. And I'm not just saying Missouri, a lot of states, but here in the state of Missouri, for example, there's a law that says they cannot shut your power off in the wintertime if it's 32 degrees below for more than 24-hour period. Okay. And we had a politician on my show, on this very show here, and I asked him that. He didn't have anything to say, froze up. He didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Next time he came back, I asked him again. He goes, oh, well, there's a counter law that monopolies, they don't want to monopolize, but like if co-ops can shut it off. Even though there's law says they can't, co-ops can. Where's that law? I've never seen that law, but he researched it and come up with that crap. So this is kind of the same thing, okay?
Right.
You can't give them porn outside on the sidewalk, But if it's for education reasons on the other side of that sidewalk, they can.
Correct.
That makes absolutely no sense. Why we got laws then?
If you ask the librarian and some of the staff over there, they'll tell you that these books are literary. They have value to students. As a matter of fact, she told me, Tanya O'Boyle is a high school librarian. She told me on the phone almost 2 years ago, well, a year and a half ago. And when we talked about this, because I called her up, let me back up. I'll start from the beginning. I saw a dirty book list circulating on the internet and from the Lee Summit School District. And so I was curious to see whether or not we had any of those books in our library. I called central office. They said they called the librarian. So I did. It's the first time I ever spoke to Tanya O'Boyle, the librarian. And I told her who I was, why I was calling, and she assured me that she didn't have any books like that. And she, not quite a quote, but to the effect that she wouldn't put anything in the library that she didn't think the kids could handle. That was her general statement. Anyway, so we talked a little bit about these books, and she explained to me that she chooses books, and she is the one that chooses these books. She compiles a list and sends it to the administration, and they approve it, and then someone writes a check for it, and they buy these books. So it all starts with her. She decides what books she wants to put in the library. So she told me that the books that she selects, and she used those terms and explained that when a kid reads a book, she wants it to be a window in the fact that they can look through that, look to the outside to see something new, new experiences, new lifestyles, new whatever, right? Mm-hmm. She wants it to be a window to a new world. And she wants them to be also mirrors to some kids so they can see themselves in the book. They can relate to the characters and whatever issues the character may be going through, the student may be going through it too. So it almost sounds like it's some kind of therapy book, but my word, not hers. But anyway, so windows and mirrors, that's how she selects her books.
Okay, well, I've got a window and a mirror here. Okay, I'm sitting here and I'm my mind is the gears are turning, guys, and so we have these books in the library that they deem to be educational as their excuse for being there. If you're standing on the outside reading these books to the children, then that's a crime. But because it's inside the school, then it's educational. Okay, well, if that's the case, then they could have pornographic magazines in there because the magazines have articles in there. So that could be considered educational. So, I mean, you go into the library like we were when I was in high school, and you had the big wooden bamboo type things that had the newspapers, magazines, Wall Street Journal, all the local newspaper, Kansas City Star, whatever, the St. Louis Dispatch. And so why not on the magazine rack, right along with Field and Stream and Outdoor Life and Popular Mechanics? You don't have Playboy and Penthouse and all the others because they've got articles in there that could be very educational. So, I mean, where is the dividing line? Where are they having their dividing line to distinguish what is pornography, what is not pornography? I mean, I'm having a difficult time in finding the rationality that they have in how they're able to classify these books as being educational with the graphic material that's inside. That's my mind's turning there. I mean, if I stood on the outside of the school on the outside and started passing out Playboy and Penthouse and all these other, they'd have me locked out. But if I took it inside and put it in the library, then it's okay to have them in the library because there's articles in there that's educational, or so they could say they're educational. Yeah. Does it make any sense?
Oh, yeah, perfect sense.
Okay. All right. I'm just wondering sometimes,
It sounded to me like a bunch of smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I mean, seriously, they're not supposed to have it. Then they have it. And they say it's for educational purposes. Why is every other school in a complete circle don't have that stuff in there?
Right. Only here.
One of the best school systems that I know of is the Hamilton school system. Okay, it's a real good school system over there. They don't have none of that.
Right.
Yeah, it's educational, right? Ain't that what you said?
Yeah.
Well, and
some education you get later on in life.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I asked them that very question at last week's school district meeting, school board meeting. You know, what do you want our kids to learn from reading these books? What's the objective there? What are they supposed to get out of those books? You know, and,
Right.
and naturally they don't answer. You know, they never answer. But anyway, it's frustrating. We've asked all these different questions and can't get any straight answers. And they don't want to be locked down in and cornered, by giving an answer. But just because the librarian presents a list to the administration doesn't mean the administration has to buy those books.
No.
Right.
No.
So really, ultimately, the responsibility rests with the administration, and they have every right to refuse books about LGBT, books about violent, graphic, gory books. I mean, they're autonomous. That they can make their own minds about what they want to put in their school.
Right.
And they have the authority and they have the law to back them up.
And I think they've gone too far. Listen, none of us here are going to put down gay people.
Correct.
They've been gay people around since the dawn of time. LGBTQ.
I got
don't
family
care
members that are.
what
okay.
literature about that. So that's fine. I don't care about that. But glorifying a dad getting his 11-year-old daughter, I think I read that age right, 11-year-old daughter pregnant.
Yeah.
That's criminal behavior. That ain't nothing to be glorified. It's actually been locked the F up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and people ask me, why am I worried about it? You're a comedian. Well, I'm a comedian, but I'm a victim of this very thing. That's why I got as big as I got, lifted all them weights. Nobody doing nothing to me no more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They don't understand the impact this has on people when they grow up. Okay. Growing up, I was so scared to give anybody a bath, not because I'm molesting, because I didn't want to be in there when kids were cut off line. Year and a half, 2 years old. I'm not, you bathe them. I'll play with them, do all those stuff, change diapers, but no, because it's just there's stigma behind all this, and it brings back memories of how I was treated, and that's what's happening. Okay, and they don't know this. They need to wake the hell up. They're educated people, supposed to be. Okay, and so I don't know if there need to be what we're going to do. Where do you turn? Where do you pivot? I heard that word a lot in the Congress. Pivot. We need to pivot. I got your pivot. What are we going to do? Well, I mean, sounds like the law. You can't use the law of being 18 and getting porn because that's divided up. You can't use the law. You can't just go in and take the books out. That's trespass. What else is there for a parent or you guys, somebody to do?
Well, there is legislation that they're hopefully going to propose again in January that would add the Missouri Statute 573550 prohibits the school district from providing books that have pictures that depict sexual acts. And
which is the same as the pornographic magazine.
And by the way, we have some of those books in the Cameron High School that violate the law. And of course, they run their own police department. So when we reported the crime, there was no report that was ever generated. They didn't investigate.
Hold that thought a second. They got no police department. So if I park somewhere in the parking lot, can they give me a ticket?
Yes.
I actually can. And hold it in court?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because they are sworn in by the Cameron PD.
I see.
If my memory serves me correctly,
He is.
they are a branch of it, but they are not of our PD. But
So I didn't know they had detaining power.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, they do.
Okay.
They got everything.
Okay.
But the way I look at it, I look at it kind of like Hitler's Gestapo. They really don't have to answer to nobody. They can just
No, they still got to answer to the people.
got to answer to the people. But yeah, if the people knows what's going on. But anyway, a question I got is, what in the world even prompted the school to want to put these books in our library? Whose brainstorm idea? What Einstein brought this one about? Okay. Okay, that's what I want to know, is how they even got in there in the first place and why they thought it was necessary. I've always wondered that.
I can answer that for you.
Okay, please do.
The librarian is most likely solely responsible for all of those books. They had a policy in place that required 3 staff members to be involved with the book selection process. Through records requests that we have done, we have found that they were not enforcing policy, that it appears that the librarian was able to, all on her own, pick every one of those books. And my assumption is you gentlemen were in the military the same as us, that when you can delegate authority and allow somebody to do their job, the guy at the top often does. So the man that signs the checks saw the list of books that came in, assumed that everything was being done above board, and put his signature on that line and authorized their purchase.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of like the second lieutenant that signed for our ammo at the M60 range. Instead of 1,000 rounds a gun, it was 10,000 rounds a gun, and no brass, no ammo back to the depot, just empty links and we were anyway. Yeah. Okay. I understand that. Yeah. Okay.
Well, see, I think there's federal money involved too, because
Yeah.
the school gets grants, and with every federal dollar there comes a string attached, and so they've got to spend that in the library or whatever. So, Tanya O'Moore, the high school librarian, is tied in with the American Library Association, the ALA.
In other words, the government has got their nose in places where it doesn't need to have its nose,
And by design.
and by design. Yeah.
I'm going to rile some people up here.
Okay. Rile us up.
I'm going to rile some, probably get some negative comments, but I know how to fight, so I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
These people that are pushing back against you guys, has someone ever went to their house and did an investigation on them? Because it sure seems to be like maybe they're grooming some kids, or they're diddling somebody in their household, and they're trying to make it feel like it's normal so they can get away with it. Because that's sure what. There's just no other reason to have these magazines in there. These kids will learn that stuff in due time. They probably have to teach the magazine a few things already. Okay, so this is not educational. Education never stops. Just because you graduate from school, your education don't stop.
No, you learn every day.
You learn every day, or you're dead.
Yeah.
That's it. I had a culture shock. I went from a small school in Jamesport, Missouri, into the damn Marine Corps. I was just in shock.
Boy, that's a culture shock.
It was a culture shock.
Yeah.
Okay?
Whoa.
How they talk, how they just did things. I had to learn as education kept going, and I've been learning ever since. And I'm just wondering if someone's ever went and checked out this librarian's background. Maybe she was. If it was, sorry that happened to her. But she's trying to make everybody feel like she felt her. I don't know. There's a sick mentality to this shit.
I agree.
So I'm just wondering if someone's ever did research on it.
Now, we have to remember this isn't just Cameron.
No,
Right. Yeah.
No,
There's other places.
no, but that's the one close to us.
Right.
Oh.
But I mean, there is a national push.
Yeah.
And I think it's from the top down. I mean, it's from
Right.
the Department of Ed, from the ALA, from a lot of the school board, the teaching associations.
And you got a lot of celebrities, okay, that are involved in stuff like this too. Whatever happened to that list, Epstein's list?
It's been a memory hold, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But they can find P. Diddy's list. Guy's little black book.
True.
I'm just saying, guys. And people protect these people and let them get away with it. Okay, everybody knows about P. Diddy doing. He hell, in some of his songs, he laid out his manifesto, what he did. Right? Mm-hmm. We all knew this. Why were they protecting him? It's not funny. This shit ain't. This ain't a don't snitch thing. This is an absolute telling somebody protect these kids, right? So, and I know there's going to be a lot more celebrities right now hiding or trying to send him some money to shut him up, or maybe it might be an Epstein thing. I don't know. Happened to P. Diddy. Okay. There's a lot and lots and lots of celebrities. I heard the big wig herself, Oprah, was the way she was. I understand there's a story about some kid sitting on her lap and she was rubbing on him. I understand that Tom Hanks is dual citizenship, although I did read about that. I'm not sure if it really was. I think he was just dual citizenship because his wife or something, or he was actually, one of them was Greek, so he did that. They say he did to get away from the list. I don't know, but there's so many. There's a lot of them, and more and more coming out, and it's not okay. But I think they got money to back these companies, these businesses, these people, and so they got more money to throw. We got Soros. That guy puts his money in anything. His next move is get Budweiser sponsor. Budweiser sponsor anything. He might have Budweiser sponsor this deal. That's how big it's getting.
Yeah, I will tell you on a personal note. We put two kids all the way through Cameron schools, all the way from kindergarten all the way through senior year in high school. And I know there were issues back then in 99, 2000, 2001. I think my son graduated in 2001. My middle daughter graduated in 2003. And of course, we decided when our youngest came along, she is now 25. She'll be 26 next year. We decided we were going to homeschool. And it was one of the greatest decisions that we ever made. I understand that not everybody is able to do that. I mean, most families, it takes both parents working. And so, the school has got the kids all day long. The parents got them for a couple, 3 hours in the evening when they're not running around the sports and everything. Long story short, since we don't have any children in school and haven't had for a long time, but yet they're still taking our money in the form of school tax, and they are using that to fund the schools along with everybody else and a lot of other senior citizens and retired people. With that being said, since our tax dollars are being used to support the schools and to fund them, do the citizens have the right or not to inspect the library and see what's going on? I mean, I don't have children in school anymore, but one of these days I may have grandkids.
Well, you pay taxes in school, though.
And we pay
school
taxes
tax.
to the school.
Yep.
And so I'm just kind of curious if the parents and the citizens are allowed to inspect the library themselves to see just what's sitting on the shelf and to go through it. Can somebody answer that?
That was actually a very intelligent question. I'm shocked.
Can somebody? Yeah.
The
Yeah.
answer is
Sorry about that.
absolutely not. They refuse even to allow parents into the library to look at the content that is in these books. We have been asking now since March of 23 to get in. We wanted to see not just the libraries, but also the classroom libraries, because teachers have libraries within their classroom and it is entirely unregulated. So if you
Okay.
have an activist teacher who wants to push this stuff on kids, she or he is not required to report to the district what books they have in their classroom. So anything can be there. And the district flat refuses. We're asking now through the Sunshine Law to look at these, and they want us to pay them to pull the books, to deliver them somewhere outside of the school so that we can inspect them. And it's a significant amount of money. And we have asked because I've got a list of more than 200 books that are of concern that are just in the high school. And I'm finding that from outside the walls. And my belief is that if I found 200 from outside the walls, if I get my hands on the books, I'm going to find more. We have volunteered as members of the community, parents, taxpayers, to go into the library to check in like they have any other parent do, anybody that's volunteering at the district. You check in at the office, volunteer to go to the library, and start going through the books. And when we find a book that has adult content, we would put it like a sticky note on it and turn it over to the district so they can have their team that does the reconsideration process to see if these books need to be challenged. They refuse to allow us access.
It seems to me like everything going on with the school district and these books, that it's very biased. It's like it's all one-sided, and that it's a loaded gun, and we're not allowed to have any ammunition for our gun. Might be a bad choice of words, but it's the only thing I can come to think of. Okay. I mean, so it just seems to me like there needs to be where it's unbiased when it comes time to examine these books, to determine what is appropriate and not appropriate. I mean, for crying out loud, I can remember when I was in high school, my freshman year, the community went up in arms and almost got a teacher fired because the literature teacher, we were going to read The Grapes of Wrath, and there was a hidden innuendo in there. It didn't even go into detail what it was. And good grief, our literature teacher just about lost her job over it. I mean, you know.
I got one better. I got one for you like that. I read 2 books in my life. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't read, but I want to read 2 books. The Bible, which you read it from front to back, still don't understand the damn thing I read. And Where the Red Fern Grows.
Okay.
I've read that book probably 100 times. I can tell you what page, things happen on. I love it. I love the movie. Okay. Did you know that book has been banned in half the schools in America?
I didn't know that.
No.
Where the Red Fern Grows. It's been banned because it has a violent scene where the boys are fighting and one falls on his axe. It's also violent when coon dogs do what they're supposed to do and track down coons and kill them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they'll shoot them out of trees. But they want to ban the Bible, but they allow this.
Well,
Come on now.
case
Come
in
on
point,
now.
There's books that explicit rape scenes in some of these books.
Yeah.
And that's not consensual. I mean, it's a violent act, and so apparently the school doesn't see a problem with that.
Well, I tell you, we talked a little bit a while ago about what the teachers in their classroom and what they're teaching, and even families today don't know what's being taught, and if one of them's wanting to push a certain agenda or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have no kids in school, haven't had for years. We homeschooled our youngest. It seems, I know for a fact that before the school year starts, that the teachers have to submit a syllabus of their class outlines for the school year for each semester that's coming up from start to finish. I personally myself, if I had a child or a grandchild in public school, I want a copy of that syllabus. I want to know what that teacher is going to be teaching in that classroom. So there's something that could go before the school board to have these. Of course, that doesn't mean that the teacher couldn't change it up after it was passed out, but
I mean you got a good enough school board to uphold it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, they've got to submit a syllabus of their class outlines for that semester. The parents ought to have a copy of that to see what they're going to be teaching.
Right. I agree 100%. But the school board don't care, apparently, because these guys have been dealing with the school board.
Well, I
Now-
totally understand that, and I get it. I honestly do. These are just things that are just popping into my head right now.
You're exactly
you
correct.
know.
You're exactly correct. One of you gentlemen sent this to me. I'm going to pull this up. This is some of what they're talking about, and I'll show it here. And you guys explain it when you see it. All right, let me go back here. I got to go over here and add it to the screen.
Okay, Jen, you want to take this one?
All right.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to go real slow. You just go ahead and talk, guys.
Okay, this is one of the books that we have here in the Cameron High School that we have challenged. And what we're looking at here is a sheet off of Book Looks. It's a resource that we use, and they call it Book Looks because they have identified content in these books that are inappropriate, and they give them first a rating. But then what you're looking at here, it tells you the page number.
4 out of 5, right here. And it says not for minors, right?
Not
there next
for
to it.
minors, right. And Richie, if you'll scroll back up to the beginning of that.
Right here. Okay.
Yes, this book contains profanity and derogatory terms, sexual activities, including sexual assault and molestation, alcohol use, inflammatory, racial, and religious commentary and references. So
Just right there, it should be banned. What happened to the racial part of this? It's okay to be racial. If it's a sex book, it's okay to be racial in that. What happened to that?
in therein, Richie, is the only justification that we have received from the district or the Board of Education on any of these books is to say, well, we have a diverse student body. And the implication is that if you're a little black boy or you're gay, you need to read content that is sexually explicit. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Because it's not. It doesn't make sense at all.
Right.
All right, I'm gonna scroll down a little bit here. All right, like I said, it's got the warning, content warning. I mean, you can see any rational person above 7 years old knows what that's about.
Right.
Okay, now this is new to me, so
All right. In all of these passages here are passages that contain the content that is described at the top of that page.
Okay.
And I forget what page number, but it's like page 170 is
That doesn't say.
the description of the father describing the pleasure and the joy as he impregnates his 11-year-old child.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about a while ago.
That is in this book. There is another passage in here where two men hold a man and woman at gunpoint and force them to have a sex act in front of them for their enjoyment. And there is sexual description after sexual description that is in this book. And this was selected by the librarian to be added to the high school for kids to read.
Okay.
And some of this stuff is vile. It is difficult to read.
You know, we have a serious mental health crisis in this country right now. And it appears to me, not knowing somebody's mental state and where they're teetering at, some of this, and I mean, they could get it anywhere, but making it accessible in the school could push somebody over the edge.
Agreed.
You know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, bring it PTSD.
You got to bring
man. Yeah.
bring it to the forefront instead of keeping it suppressed within their thoughts of doing it. It brings it out into the open, and then they act on it. And to me, there's enough trouble in the world without inviting it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Right. I get what you're trying to say. People bring it up, get out open, to get embarrassed, commit suicide. If they don't bring it up in the right way, they want to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Or somebody will beat them up. Hey, you don't say nothing.
Yeah.
You don't talk to nobody.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Richie, there was another
Sorry about
screenshot
that,
that I sent you, a picture that came from Destiny.
Yeah.
Can you pull that up and let us explain what
Let me
that
see
is
if
too?
I can. Yeah, I have to go back in here. Go ahead and keep talking for a second.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Destiny is the resource that the Cameron School District is telling parents to use. It is a look inside the library, and you can look up the book that your child is going to check out or wants to check out specific to each school.
Mm-hmm.
So we go into Destiny and we found the book, The Bluest Eye. The district says use Destiny, read this book or not. And we did that very thing. Dan read some of these examples. He contrasted the Destiny description to the description that we found on Book Looks at the last meeting. He read it to him. Yep, that's the one there.
One right there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, come on.
But okay, so this.
Well, they can't see it. Hold on. Let me.
Yep.
I have to go through a process, but yeah, we'll get it back
Gotcha.
up here.
Okay.
So what he's going to pull up here is the resource that the school district told me to use as a parent. They said, go in, use Destiny, look up the book, and use it to decide if you want your child to read that content. Okay, and here it is. That is the only description for that book, The Bluest Eye, that we were just talking about. An 11-year-old African-American girl in Ohio in the early 1940s prays for her eyes to turn blue so that she will be beautiful. That is the only information that the school district is making available to the parent to decide if they want their child to read that book, The Bluest Eye, where the father describes the sheer pleasure that he has when he impregnates his own child. It doesn't mention anything about molestation, abuse, the drugs that we're finding in these books, the rampant normalization and the glorification of the use of drugs and alcohol, the abhorrent sex acts that are described in these books. Not a single one of the books that we have put in their lap that they have reviewed, more than 80 books, not a single one of those books in Destiny truly describe the content that is in the book. But the school district just said, This is the answer to our problem. Parents use destiny.
You know, these books, I understand that, yeah, I don't want my child to check this out or whatever measures they're taking. But these books are scattered all over the library. They're not probably just isolated in one location. So a child doesn't really have to check the book out or seek the parent's permission. They can walk into the library, go on the computer, look up, see where it's at, walk down the row of books, pull it out, and they can stand right there or sit down at the table in the library and read what they want to and put it back without ever having to check out or the parents even knowing that they're even browsing through it. So the wife and I was talking just the other night, might even been last night. We got on this subject because she was reading the article in the Clinton County Leader, which, by the way, was a good article that was written there. And I don't read the paper very
You
much.
said Clinton County?
Clinton County Leader.
Were they the ones that came
Yeah.
to that debate
Yeah.
that we put on?
Yes.
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 Okay.
So my thing is if they want the parents to give the child permission to have these books, they ought to treat it like they used to in the old video stores when you used to go in to get out the VCR tape in your machine and rent it, you know? Okay. The adult content is in this little room over here, separate from everything else. Got to be over 18 to go in there and check it out or to browse or to look or whatever. Okay. Take all those books and put them in one centralized location. Boom, they're right there. Preferably where the librarian could monitor these books and say, no, you're not, your parents don't want you around these books. You got to move on, stay away from them. And kind of like under guard where they can be watched to keep it away from wandering eyes. But it just seems to me like there's other things that they can do other than, well, we've got this. The parents can go online. We're going to send them an email and see if it's okay if you check this book out. And, you know, whatever lame duck excuse that they're wanting to come up with. Okay, don't care. But it seems to me like you ought to be able to take all these books, consolidate them, and put them in one isolated location. Students still have access to them like the school wants, but not accessible to all the students and wandering eyes, especially with parents that are against it, because kids are going to be kids, period. Curiosity, hormones are starting to race. Okay. That's just the way it is. It's a natural part of growing up. The curiosity killed the cat. Okay. So there seems to me there ought to be other measures that the school could take concerning these books. Just enough said on that subject before I just keep on rattling.
It kind of is, though. See, I mean,
Hey, Dan, I've got a message from a friend of yours to speak up a little bit. They can't hear you.
Oh, okay. That's a first.
Thank you, Travis.
Hey, okay. Hey, buddy.
Travis,
And
that's a first.
I've been told to shut up so many times.
Yeah, wow.
The school has made an effort to do that. They restrict some of these books, supposedly put them behind the shelf or behind the counter. They're in the library.
Dean's
okay.
Well, but here's the problem. They don't know out of the tens of thousands or thousands of books, they don't know what books they have. They can't possibly go and police everything because they don't know what's in there.
Which
and I
is,
think that's their big fear about letting parents go in there.
That's
because
stupid.
They're afraid what we might find.
why don't they?
Yeah.
Because
What?
because then that would force them to admit that there's a problem.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Or it's like another thing that comes to my question. What are you hiding from us?
Right.
Right.
What are you hiding? Be
Right.
transparent. Get it out there. Let us look.
Well,
You know.
and some of these authors have been writing these books for 20, 30 plus years.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's the way back.
This is not a new
This
thing.
not a lot of these books are not brand new, and I understand that they've just
Yeah.
now recently been readily available
Right.
in the public schools in certain areas and locations. Kudos to those schools that are not allowing it. Hats off.
Right.
So
Right. I'll ask you guys a question. I've been saving this for a while. The last time you guys were here, there was a rumor about teachers giving these books for kids for assignments, to do assignments out of. Did that come about as true, and are they still doing it?
Yes and yes.
Yes
Wow.
and yes.
Wow.
Woohoo.
For all of you who don't remember before, there was a rumor going around that teachers were giving students these particular type books and giving them assignments out of these books. Okay.
Yeah.
And some say they weren't, some say they were. So Heath just verified that yes, they were doing it, and they're still doing it. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, they actually addressed it at the last board meeting. They admitted that yes, some of the books are still part of the AP language class, but if a parent doesn't want their child to read the book, they have other options to it. But yeah, it's absolutely still there.
Ain't that kind of an oxymoron? They don't want the parents to have any rights, but they want the parents to have the rights. Think about it. It's up to the parent, but we don't care what the parent says. That's baffling to me. That don't seem baffling to you guys? It's like a bunch of buck passing, you know. What do the parents say? Oh, we don't care what the parent says. If you want to read this book, we don't care what your mom and dad say or your parents say. You can read this book anyway. Right. Meanwhile, the kids back are going because they're confused. That means help for all you don't.
And
know.
then the kid will do something to act on something that they read in one of these books, and then they look at the parents. Well, why didn't you do something about that?
And then that's why you got a lot more of these pedophiles going to jail now, younger.
Ah.
Well, hey, I learned that shit in school. You can't hold that against me in school. I learned that in school. And so, wow. Okay.
Hee-haw, whatever.
Now,
So here's another thought about these books. You know, why is it necessary for the school to spend money on this, to buy them, when they're readily available in the public library? You can
right here, you get all you want right here.
Any bookstore would have them. You can order them off of Amazon. I mean, so and people throw that book banning business at us, right? Well,
no, we ain't banning nothing.
Right, exactly.
No.
We want to restrict.
Yeah,
Restrict.
no. See, ban it. People, and I've heard it say that. I've watched some of the comments when you guys talk. People like, well, you're picking on transgender people. No, you're not. You're not picking on these people.
Right.
You're not telling somebody they can't be what they want to be. Lesbians, gays, whatever the proper term is. I ain't politically correct. I don't care.
Right.
But these people, like, you're not telling them they can't be them. We're saying we don't want our children to access the filth.
Why does an author feel the need to be so descriptive that you can paint such a vivid picture in a kid's mind, in the reader's mind, not
Yes.
necessarily even a kid?
Mm.
And that's the point of a book, you know, and to be descriptive. You want the reader to be able to see what you're thinking. But why do they have to be so descriptive when it comes to the sexual stuff?
I'm sorry, but somebody
Straight
wants
or
to.
gay, it doesn't matter. You know,
Yeah, and they make a big deal about it. Guys,
Yeah.
these phones in our hands, all these kids, these young kids now, 10, 11, they all got cell phones. You tell me they can't type in a few things and get on all they want?
well, no, that's another excuse.
Schools don't
people
have to
give
have
for-
it.
Yeah, that's another reason why they say that we're making too big of a deal about the books when every kid's got a phone.
That works against, that's a stupid argument because it works against them. Why do they need the books? The kids got the phone.
right.
Okay, so that's a dumb argument. It's like everybody's talking about the Kansas City Chiefs pay the referees. Nobody, no referees are taking money from nobody. No, just you do you, and they let them do them. Stop worrying. Everybody's crying about that. Every football season, they cry about somebody getting an advantage.
Oh,
No
yeah.
one's getting an advantage.
No.
Makes no sense. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Some of these authors in the books that were challenging, they're not writing the books with the intended audience of being adults. They are writing the books with the intended audience being the children.
Being a children.
No,
yeah.
that's it's part of the grooming process.
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm just going to call it what it is.
That's right. That's
Grooming.
exactly what it is. Got 10 or some of our guests here. They keep us going here. Dean Cerny said, I wonder if P. Diddy had those books.
Oh no,
Probably
ask
did.
him.
Yeah, we'll know pretty quick.
Yeah, it'll all come out.
Julie Ringer. Julie, thank you for joining our
Yeah, Julie.
the W Radio Show. They appreciate it. She said, pigs teaching trash to children. I don't see anything. I can't argue what she said.
Nope.
Common denominator said, we hope that they may consider professional help for gender diphtheria. Well,
I'm telling you,
that's just your tax dollars right there.
well, anybody that would sit down with that thought process in their mind and write a book like that, as far as I'm concerned, has got issues.
This is
They've got issues.
This comment right here is absolutely awesome comment by Dean Cerny. He says, why are these books perfectly fine to have in schools, but guns and ammo, outdoor life, etc., is banned?
Mhm.
This question came up in a big debate. And the guy's like, well, mass shooters are shooting mass people. Okay, mass shooters only shooting X. They're doing mass.
Yeah.
and they're not just one. They're not in one area. They're all over.
Let's get one
These
thing
books
straight.
spread all these stuff.
Three
So
people.
They do more harm.
2 or 3 people being shot is not a mass shooting. You start talking about 30 or 40, now you can talk about masses.
Right.
Okay. Excuse me.
And not everybody has a gun. It's a mass shooter anyway. Same way with this book. Look,
I can do you in with a fork if I want to.
yeah, I
I don't need a gun.
I kill it straw.
Yeah, you know, whatever.
Let's say your son,
Yeah.
gave my son one of these dirty books,
Yeah.
and they passed around. Now they're 8.
Yeah.
Okay, that's doing more harm in a mass quantity.
Oh,
than you want to do.
absolutely.
So, Dean, that's an excellent.
Excellent. Yeah.
It's because people fear what they don't understand, and that's a lot of American. That's the way Americans believe. They fear what they don't understand.
And we're not just talking about books, I mean, worded books. We're talking picture books. And they call those graphic books.
Yes,
We
you might as well read a movie.
like cartoons.
Yeah.
Which naturally, kids are attracted to that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But and they act out. They show
Yes.
pictures. They
Mm-hmm.
not just describe in verbiage. They describe pictorially. It's to target kids is just wrong.
Yeah,
It is wrong.
It is.
It's absolutely wrong. And listen, if you're religious or not, there's still a moral issue here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's take God out of
Definitely.
it for a second. Well, apparently they've already took God out of it, but let's take him out for a second. It doesn't matter. This is a moral issue.
Exactly.
There's right and there's wrong. You can't paint a gray area here.
No, and some of these
You know?
guys have the audacity to say, "Well, you're just mad because they know more than you." I don't think so. I'm a young man. Woo, yeah, no.
I've been around the
It's
block
not
a
about
time
that.
or two.
But it's not about that. It's
Yeah.
about they have no business learning this under the age of 10, 12, 15. No. And it's against the law for them to have it. That's the basic damn principle of it all.
That is stuff that should be left up to
It's
the
sickening.
parents to pick the time and age
Unless the parents
when
do
they
them
need
wrong.
to set them down and talk to them about
Right.
that.
Unless the parents are the ones diddling them, then that
yeah,
comes out-
there you go.
take the power out of their hands.
But
too.
like you say, every other case they want to put it back on the parents.
They will always want to put it back on the
Well,
parent,
then okay, then.
but they don't want the parent to have any say.
Right.
But then they put it back on the parent's shoulders
Yeah,
when something
That's
happens.
smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
I'll change that term you used a while ago to
Yeah.
smoke and mirrors.
You need to break
Not-
the mirrors.
Julie, not a first rodeo. No, it's not.
No.
It's not. So now you guys have obviously took up the cross, okay, for this
Yeah.
deal. And I know you're not the only ones, and the camera's not the only school. Where do we go? What is there? I know you last time he was on the show, you talked about Josh Hawley. He couldn't help. Or I guess you didn't talk directly to Josh Hawley, but anyway, Josh Hawley couldn't help.
Correct.
Who's higher? Is the law going to help you, or do you got to?
Yeah.
What do we got to do?
Honestly, it's going to take the taxpayers to show up and vote for a school board candidate who says enough.
And say, I'm giving you no more of my tax dollars until we see a significant change.
Right.
Money's the best way to hit them. Hit them in the pocketbook.
Right. Or if they have an auditorium full of 150 people, parents saying, this is not good enough. We need answers. This doesn't belong here. This is not appropriate. This is a moral issue. Until the school board and the school district hears the message from the community that this is not acceptable, they're not going to change anything. Right now, we are the minority
Mhm.
when it comes to the input that the school district receives. They get more support for the books than they do those of us that are opposed to it. So it is easier for them to ignore us and keep the books and make everybody happy.
The law can only set up the guidelines, the parameters, so to speak, right, and make them play within those parameters.
Yeah.
But this again, the school district, the school board is a governing body of the district. They make the rules, the
Mhm.
policies.
Yes.
They can change anything along the way that they want. I mean, it has to, with a vote, but it's doable. Where there's a will, there's a way. There is no will though currently.
Apparently it's happened because it ain't in the local
Correct.
schools around here, but that
Yeah.
one. So apparently it's happened.
Right.
Have you checked out St. Joe? That's the largest city near us, I believe, well, unless maybe Kearney or Liberty. But anyway, St. Joe. Anything in schools up there like that?
I can't tell for sure because they don't make the contents of their library available to
Okay,
the public.
okay.
You've got to be a resident with a kid in the school before they'll give you access.
Okay.
They are challenging books. They just voted, I forget with a majority to keep the book, The Bluest Eye, without any restrictions for the kids in that school district. So any child at any age can go in and access that book, and they're not even going to let the parents know that they've got it. At least ours is restricted, but
Well,
Yes,
that's
Dean.
a step.
Yes, Dean, you're true. Their money is guaranteed, though. The problem is they get property dollars. What happens if you don't pay your property taxes? They take your property, which is the most unconstitutional damn thing I've ever seen. Now, some states don't do that no more. Okay, some states don't have personal property tax, which is good. Missouri need to do the same thing. But yeah, that's exactly right. So I'm one of the guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to pay taxes if I don't have to. Not because I'm a greedy bastard, because I'm not confident in where my tax dollars go.
Right.
How long you gentlemen been paying taxes? Just as long as me. I'm in my 50s, just as long as you. Right?
Oh.
How many years have we been doing these roads in this state? I just come back from a trip from Des Moines, Iowa. The damn road was better. As soon as we crossed the Missouri line, you could tell you're back in Missouri. Every state that I travel around for comedy, all around this area, is the same damn thing. I knew when I was back in Missouri. I didn't need that welcome sign.
No.
Okay. And these are interstates.
yes.
Just a minute your tire hits the asphalt.
Yeah. Not to mention these little towns. My God, you go to Hamilton, you knock a filling loose. Okay. Because they ain't got the tax. Don't do it. So the tax money is not, I'd be more, if you guaranteed me my tax dollars would pay for stuff, I'd be willing to pay. Schools, and like City of Gallatin, they got caught a couple of years ago. You guys too might remember this. The lady was ordering lawnmowers, supposed to be these riders, these zero turns, turned out to be push mowers. And all the extra cost, they pocketed. Okay? So you're thinking, like, well, why the hell will I pay taxes to that? There's no guarantee. Same way to school. You and I don't have a kids school, but I got grandkids in this particular school.
Right.
Okay. And my daughter and son-in-law pay taxes there. They're not getting what they're paying for. And there's nothing they can do about it.
Not a thing.
Right now.
Just raise hell at board meetings.
Man, hell, sometimes they throw your ass out of there. You know,
Yeah.
You know, if you get a little loud or whatever.
That's the importance of the money follow the kid type legislation. If we,
And explain that a little bit, because I've heard that term before.
And that's it's again they preach parental choice. Well, this gives the parents a choice. Okay, well, you have to pay school taxes. We got to fund our schools, but you get to choose which school you want your tax money to go to.
Right.
Which
Right.
school you want to send your kid to. The money will follow the kid, and that will create competition.
Yes.
And that will put enough pressure on a lagging school district to step it up, or they're going to lose business. And
Well-
that's what school is. It's a business.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you right now, we have a homeschool co-op. We're going on, this is our 15th year. And we've got a lot of families and a lot of children that come to, and we get a lot of phone calls with families. How do we pull our child out of the public school? How do we homeschool?
Yes.
You would be
I
surprised
was gonna
how
cover
many
that.
people are pulling their kids out of the Cameron School District
Yep.
and homeschooling.
Yep.
And kudos to them. I'm all for homeschooling if you are able to do so. I will tell you all right now, if any of you are listening and you want to pull your child out of public school and homeschool, all you have to do is write a letter of exit, and that's it. They can't even come to your front door and knock on it and try and get you to bring your child back to the school. They can't. They can't bring family services. They can't do anything. Set your child down, start educating them, keep your records, and that's it. Missouri is one of the few states that is a big supporter of homeschooling.
Yep.
And I will tell you something, there are a lot of advantages to that, and you can control what your child is learning.
Yeah. My daughter has got an IQ about 140.
Yeah.
She can homeschool her kids. The problem she ran into is the funding still, her kids sit here, but the funding still goes to the school.
Right.
So she's like, well, that's not enough checks and balances right there, And so, and then there's a couple other hoops. And then that letter, you said, yeah. So she decided she's going to let him go. But, I got two grandsons that kind of suffering there because.
Well, the thing is the school district gets X number of tax dollars for every student that they have in public school. If parents start pulling their kids out, if they're able to, and to homeschool them, that's money they're losing.
Correct.
And
Yes.
that hits them in their pocketbook. And nationwide across, you're seeing this more and more and more with the way society's going, that there are more and more people pulling their children out of public school for issues just like we're sitting here talking about this tonight on this podcast. And I will tell you, there's going to be a big movement on it. And I don't know what's going to happen, but if we had a larger facility to handle the influx of homeschool students being pulled out of public school right now by parents that are tired of this kind of stuff and what's going on and the lack of security and safety measures, we'd have hard telling how many kids in our public school. I think we're running about 80 students this semester, but the fall semester is always smaller than the spring semester. And we had a few families that have taken off because they've had other things going on. They're still teaching their kids at home. But I mean, we've had as many as 152 students in the past, but
Dean says, he's talking about Ohio. He lives in Ohio.
Okay.
He said, here we have an open enrollment. We just took our kids out of the local school system and sent them to the town over the bridge. Okay. So he's talking about the district. Okay. The money followed them, like you guys were saying a while ago. And since I'm a vet, they get a little bit more money. So there's something else too. I look into it and see what the veteran benefits offer too.
What comment did BJ make just a minute ago?
My bad. It said a proper letter of exit informs the district that they cannot use your child for purposes of funding.
There you go.
Excellent.
But she had one right here that I want to talk about before we get on to our other things here. It says it's hard for those of us in
opposition
to be heard when the pastors, teachers who are pastors' children, etc., are screaming to leave the books there. I'm just going to touch on that.
Yeah.
It's why ain't the churches stacking up? You know what I'm saying? It's a term we use in the military. Stack them up on your back to help you guys. Why ain't the churches? Where are they at in this deal? You figure for morality, not even saying the word Jesus. It's just the morality. Right. There's 4 or 5 churches in this town.
Yeah,
and it's surrounded a lot of
maybe more.
Churches.
20 some churches.
20
around this area.
Yes.
Okay, and none of them have got your back.
One.
Wow.
One.
Here we just said.
One.
20 churches.
Yep. One.
Yep.
And I believe that's Passion Church.
It is. It is.
Well,
and
those are good
they,
folks
in
down there.
response to this, opened a private Christian school there.
Okay.
And they're getting bodies too. So
yeah.
Your group in Passion Church
are
pulling away from the Cameron School District.
Wow.
And the money should be able to go to both places, by the way. The co-op money, you guys should be able to get funding.
But we don't want it. And I'll tell you why we don't want it. Because then the government can come in and tell us what to do. As long as we are privately funded and we are a private co-op and our parents are paying the little bit of a tuition that they pay, which is enough to take care of the snack shack and our hot lunches that we make there and to purchase the whatever training educational supplies that the teachers need for their particular class. It's all private. It's all out of our own pocket. The minute you start to take government money, you got your claws in you and you're done for.
Yeah, all right, guys, we're here with Dan Landi, who was late.
Yes. But we'll forgive you this time.
Our brother Heath Gilbert, he's here with us today. We're going to take a pause
man.
from this topic. If you guys want to hang around, we'd love to hang around. We got some
hang around. We got some funny stuff.
And then I want to get back to this topic because it's something that can't be talked about enough. Okay, and we're all grown ass men here, and we're fighting this. Where's the ladies at? And we'll cover that. Yeah. We'll cover that here in just a second. But let's get into some of this other stuff. All right. Now, I don't apologize for any of these memes. We're going to get on to some of our memes here. Some of these memes are. Somebody needs to go to sleep at night. All right, first one. Free belly rubs with exams. Sorry, pets only. And Jason Momoa. If you don't know who he is, that's Aquaman. The guy plays Aquaman. He's eye candy, I guess. The women. It isn't really funny. It's just look at that. Looks like an elephant.
Yeah.
The bottom one.
Yeah,
look at this one. That's pretty cool. Why is Narcan free to a dope addict, but my insulin is $750 a month?
I'd like to know that.
That's comedy questions. What that is?
Yeah.
What the hell, Bell? Why are you paying $750?
I don't know
Holy
what this
crap.
Omnipod's costing me for this, but
2 jobs.
woo, I tell you what.
Good thing you're a veteran.
But the pharmacist did tell me day before yesterday that they are very expensive. I said that's okay. Keep the price to yourself. I don't know what the government's paying for it.
Autopsy Club meeting. Saturday open mic. How does that even work?
I don't know.
I mean, I could write 10 good minutes of material off of an autopsy, but wow. Yes or no?
Oh, don't you know?
You know, that's
Yep.
been a watch the damn trees growing up through the deck.
Yeah, I love that.
Deck.
I built a deck around a tree one
I
time
have
for a
to.
guy.
I have to.
It's cool. Yep. Sit right there and fish all day long.
Milky Way. If Cinderella's shoe fits so perfectly, why did it fall off on the first place? Well,
Wow.
I don't know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, that's right.
Ask
Interesting question.
Cinderella.
Only on WO Radio Show, guys. We give you
Yep.
important questions.
Yes, that's right.
Stuff that's been
We
bothering you.
report, you decide.
There you go.
Comfort Inn.
Oh,
No pet friendly except for bears. We're not making that mistake again. They're now pet friendly except bears. I want a backstory on that.
yeah. Please.
Oh, wow.
Oh, baby Moses in a basket.
What do you think of 4 vegetarians? All right, guys, this weekend, you guys remember the old car? We've been trying to blow this thing up
There you go.
for about 3 years, probably almost 4 years, right?
Yeah, yeah. You were
Well-
supposed to do it last year, but you didn't make it around. Something came up. No.
Well, I put 7 pounds of tannerite in here in a strategic position. Boom.
there it is.
There it is right there. On the video, go on to Redneck Pimp on Facebook on the video.
You sure that was Tannerite and not Taco Tuesday?
No, I promise you, I was out of the way.
He was out of the way. Okay.
It wasn't no outhouse.
Just want to know that.
No. You'll see the smoke coming out of the spare tire.
Ooh.
You can't see the smoke here, but on the video, you see smoke coming out of the spare tire.
Okay.
And then I'll shout out to my nephew. 1 shot, 1 kill. Need to shave. But I love him, man. He can do what he wants. All right, now some of these videos.
Should men have a say in abortions?
No, hell no.
Why not?
Because they don't need to have a say in abortions. That's what I choose to do. Because they can always decide that they don't want to be in the life no more.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If a man didn't want to have a child and you say that it's your decision, should he have to pay child support?
He absolutely gonna pay child support if it's his baby.
Why should he have to pay child support if it's your body and your decision?
Well, because he laid down with me.
I know, but you could have said if you ain't want a baby, you could have said put on a condom.
No, you trying to put me on the spot.
I'm not trying to put you
Well,
on
you
the
put
spot.
yourself
I'm
Not
saying-
on the spot.
You said that it's your body and your decision.
Right.
Why should a man be responsible and obligated to pay child support for a decision that you ultimately made?
Well, he doesn't absolutely have to because he don't.
Yes,
have
he
to.
does.
But he will.
What you think, man? Should a man have a say in abortion?
No, I don't think so.
When did our men become so weak?
I know.
I looked this stat up when I seen this video.
Wow.
Beta men, 80% of the population.
Wow.
Then you got your omegas that are 10.
Good Lord help us.
Your
At the,
alpha males are now at 10% of the population, gentlemen,
Lord help us if it hits the fan.
because they want men to grow up not to be alpha males. 'Cause alpha males are the ones that are dominant, play your football, your violence and stuff like that people love to watch.
Yeah.
You can't,
Yeah.
So yeah. Mhm. I thought you guys like that. He got her like twice. She's like,
Yeah.
he's gonna pay child support. Sure is. The state's gonna make
Right.
him. The state's gonna make him pay.
Nobody.
You're in trouble, aren't you, son?
Yeah, well, that was my stepdad's ball. I took it without asking. It was signed by Babe Ruth.
George signed this?
George Herman Ruth? Yeah.
I take it back. You're not in trouble. You're dead where you stand. Oh,
Every movie this man touched. Rest in peace, by the way, James Earl.
Yes.
Every movie he touched was good as far as
He
I'm
is
concerned.
great. The Sandlot was an excellent
There
movie.
are a lot of quotes from this movie. You're killing me, Smalls. It's the longest quote still quoted by everybody. You're killing me, Smalls.
Here. I'll trade you.
That's really nice of you, but that ball really is signed by Babe Ruth.
So is this one. With the rest of the 1927 Yankees.
Man. Reverse row. Lou Gehrig.
Babe Ruth.
It didn't get the first part. We were talking about that 2 shows ago.
Yeah.
The best part of this movie is like, why don't you just knock on the door and ask me?
Yeah, why you just knock on the door and ask me? I'd have got the ball for
Trying to
you.
Get killed by. All right, this is the newest member of the Idiot family.
Yes. A new spawn.
You guys just tell me yes or no if you believe she should be part of the Idiot family.
If all the U.S. presidents were alive, single, and ready to mingle, who would you date?
Benjamin Franklin. We just, it's up there.
It's not up there. Y'all think because his dead ass is on money that makes him one of the presidents. Benjamin Franklin, the president.
She was shocked by the X.
Yeah.
Well, she still have a $100 bill, see?
I like a $100 bill too. He's my favorite guy, but he ain't
He's
president.
on 100, he's got to be a president.
As a matter of fact, there's quite a bit of money that ain't got a president on it.
Right.
Okay, like the $10 bill. So I don't know about you, but I'm gonna move her up here. She should be up here in the Idiot family.
What I got a trivia question to throw out there. Maybe somebody knows, just for FYI. Speaking about Ben Franklin on that. Whose picture's on the $10,000 bill?
I've never seen one, so I don't know. Hopefully someday, it'd be me. All right, you guys. Here a little Ron White. Now you know how it is on here. We're veterans, so we tend to cuss. So don't mind the language. But Ron White's a great comedian. I went to see him in Kansas City. Beautiful guy.
I don't know how to drive the truck anymore. I bought this big 2-story custom van to tour in, and it's kind of neat. It's got the James Bond couch in the back where you push a button, and the couch in the back automatically turns into a bed. And I'm like, well, that's cool. I finally got something over those Mercedes-Benz driving in-laws of mine. You know what I mean? When I first bought the van, I was real proud of it, and I took it straight over to my brother-in-law's house to show it off because he's such a prick. He takes one look at my new van and goes, I can't believe you didn't buy a Mercedes-Benz. They don't make a van. They hate it when you do that. Because, Ron, I don't think you fully understand the intricacies of Mercedes-Benz engineering. Why, I've got the 3-inch windshield wiper that keeps my headlight clean in a rainstorm. I got a place to fuck your sister. I don't know why they don't like me.
There's one
Last time I was here, I had somebody broke into my truck and stole my radio. Thank you, whoever you were. I got to drive back to Texas, listen to the sound of wind for 49 hours. I went to the insurance company. I was filling out these forms, and I got to the part on the form where it says what kind of radio was it, and I told the guy I didn't remember it. He said, Mr. White, if you can remember what kind of radio it was, we'll know how much money to give you. That's some good news right there. I thought of a real expensive sounding brand, and I wrote it down, and he knew I was lying. Mr. White, I don't believe Rolex makes a radio. It was a clock radio.
Clock radio.
Write the check, premium boy. They love it when you call him premium boy. Next time you see your agent, call him premium boy. He'll get a chuckle.
I'll try that on my son-in-law.
Yeah.
He's State Farm agent.
I'll go back and check out some of these comments here.
So is he pretty tanked at the end of the night?
What's that?
Oh, he can drink so much. He
Oh,
quit
he
drinking
can.
though. He stopped. Actually, quit drinking now. He owns his own tequila company.
Oh,
But he actually quit drinking. Got full head of beer. Looks like Santa Claus.
okay.
You know, now, but about that time, though, he admitted he had a
Oh.
real problem. But he drank on the table.
Yeah.
He had people that went and tried it, drinking. People want to power drink that whiskey.
Yeah.
It's sipping. They call it sipping whiskey for a reason.
Yeah.
You sip it.
You sip it.
Kept him in. Dr. Phil, he got involved with Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil, my dad helped me. Yeah. He fell off Dr. Phil's yacht, and he figured out that might be time to,
Yeah, that around.
yeah, that's
A possibility.
Raymond Trueblood, you joined us. Thank you, brother, for tuning in.
Yep.
Guys, we're here with a couple of real good friends of ours, Heath, Gilbert, and Dan Landi. They're talking about that. We'll get back on the topic in just a second. But we're going to, some of these comments here. It says, Julie said, liberal churches. Well, that's certainly not too. Ministers Alliance Group, nothing to protect our camera, a community of 17 churches. If you have adults and a clergy screaming, leave the books in the schools, they need to be investigated. Yeah. Support Turning Point and Lake Viking Church. Been to Lake Viking Church.
Yeah.
Pastor Ron Nelson was on my show here. Good dude. Man can sing too. Have you ever listened to sing? He can sing.
Yep.
Churches are doing what they're capable of doing. Yeah. People hate religion until they need it.
Mhm.
You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Somebody dies. Father, will you pray for me? Oh, who are you?
Yeah.
I've never seen you before, or well, my dad's in hospital with ingrown toenail. It's infected. Squeeze it. The hell. Thank you, Raymond. Appreciate it, bro. He shares everything that we got. He loves us. Why did the chicken cross the road? KFC was up ahead. I mean, think about it. Where are the parents? Well, that's a good question. For 12 to 6 hours a month to supporting events, yet between two adults and a family unit, no one can show up for a CS meeting, a school board meeting that lasts about 2 or 3 hours a month. And that is another thing. A lot of parents are not getting involved. They sit around.
That's the whole thing.
They complain on their couch warriors, but they're not doing nothing. Love that movie. Yeah. Funny movie. Sounds like a great movie. And wonder why schools are where they are. Mm-hmm. Field of Dreams. Yeah, he was awesome. Field of Dreams. He surely was. Talking about James Earl Jones. He died last week?
Yeah.
Day of the show, I think it was last week. He was awesome. Awesome guy. What's more important, sports or your children's education? Well, Julie, I'm kind of a sports guy. I'll just say this. Education is always more important as far as that goes, but sports drive the economy. Okay? If Kansas City lost the Royals and the Chiefs, Kansas City would be broke. Kansas City would be in trouble because sports drives the economy. So if you can get an education while doing sports, that's good. But to me, education first, and I'm a big sports nut. Okay? So I agree with you. I just want to let you know, if I agree with you on that, it's a agreeable thing because I love sports. Teachers are not all to blame. If the state stopped federal money, 7% of them for education. Missouri 7% for education. Yeah, but then they don't do it all. Give me the Benji. Okay, Abe Lincoln. That was answering your question. What, Abe Lincoln?
He's on a 5, isn't he?
On a $10,000 bill. Who's on $10,000?
Oh, no.
No. Okay.
And I stand corrected. It's not. It wasn't a $10,000 bill. It was a $100,000 bill.
I didn't have that either.
Yeah, and you don't see very many of them. But the person that's on the $100,000 bill, believe it or
That's
not,
right,
and it's original U.S. currency. Santa Claus.
Santa Claus?
Santa Claus is on a $100,000 bill. Wow. Yes, he is, and it's official legal tender.
Wow,
it is.
All right,
that just come from the mother of all useless information. Just wanted to throw it out there.
That's good. All right, guys, look, do some housekeeping here. October the 11th, Comedy Vets. We're going to be in Plattsburgh, Missouri, at the VFW over there. They'll be performing a family-friendly show.
Yay, them. Nice hall.
Yeah, is that pretty nice hall? Never been to that one. Good deal. So we're going to be there. I believe, just off the top of my head, we got myself, Pete Barlow, which is coming up from Georgia. He's the you guys don't know Pete Barlow, he's the guy that invented G.I. magazine. He's a veteran, and he does all the artwork in there and everything. He's an excellent artist, but he's also a great comedian. So he's going to be performing with him, and I believe David Scott and James Riley is back with us now. So he's going to be doing our MC work. Beautiful guy. Then the next night, October 12th, going to be my hometown with an adult show. Okay, we got James Riley. He's emceeing it. Pete Barlow, first out of the gates. Richard Montano. If you haven't met Richard Montano, he's great guy. He'll tell you a story about him. And okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have a good show.
And then myself, bringing up the rear there. I'm going to be headlining it, and it's my birthday and in my hometown. So there you go. Trivia. Time for trivia.
Trivia.
First trivia, and I got it. I got him a while ago.
Yeah,
I got him a while ago.
Oh, he did. He got me. Usually, I'm just, man, I've got it nailed right out of the starting gate, but not this time.
And I feel bad about this question. On the TV series Columbo, I love Columbo. Watch it all the time. Peter Falk's great. What was the character's first name? Everybody knows him as Lieutenant Columbo. What was Lieutenant Columbo's first name?
That's right.
As you know, get 25 entries into the mystery box, which is right over the shoulder here of the commander. If you could tell me what his name was.
I can tell you now, but I won't.
I was baffled, shocked, and upset that I didn't know that because
I watch Columbo all the time.
I love Columbo, man. We need to bring a Columbo, a real Columbo series back. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner, boys and girls.
Oh, who got it?
Dean Cerny.
Oh, the man, Frank. You got it.
That is excellent, Dean.
Is the answer?
Yep, Frank.
Yeah, Frank was the answer.
Frank Columbo. Yeah.
Frank. He doesn't look like a Frank.
I know.
No, he don't. Did you know he's actually Jewish faith?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yep. He is.
A lot of people didn't know that either. And he does have a glass eye, by the way. That is true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right. Number two. Lyrics time. I'm going to read you some lyrics to a song. You tell me the artist and the name of the song. This is worth 100 entries into the mystery box. All right, here we go. Do you still get a thrill when you see me coming up the hill? Honey, now do you? I'll read it again. Do you still get a thrill when you see me come up a hill? Honey, now do you? All right, BJ, this is your
Yep.
Oh, I thought you already answered it. I was like, man, she's quick. Frank and Dean, you're fast fingers.
I know.
Trust me. Dean is super fast. He waits on this. I think
Yes,
he's
he
got
does.
like a little app.
I think he's got a little crystal ball, knows what we're going to ask before we do something there. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
AI again.
Yeah. All right, let's see if anybody gets that. Ding, 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 ding. He did it again. Yes, KT Oslin.
Okay, yeah.
Do ya?
Yeah.
Did you know that? Did you know that? You didn't
I
know
knew
that?
it was a woman, but I didn't know who.
Yeah. Well, yeah, man ain't singing like that. Well, now Conway Twitty had some lyrics that was,
Yeah, close to that. But
all right, Dean. 100 entries. Dean is just walking off. But as you know, Dean, it only takes one to win. Dean's led last 3 years and lost 2 years trying to get the mystery box. So, but he's the only guy on here that's ever won 2 of them. Okay, and so there you go.
Well, he's after it. He's after his third one.
Pretty hard. Yep. She got it. Oh, she knew it. She knew it.
Yes, she knew it. Yep.
Yeah. Blueberry Hill. Chuck Berry. Look at Vincent, man. Woo! Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, Blueberry. Yeah,
All
right, guys, on this day in history.
Oh, here we go. What happened? Anything worth reporting?
We report, you decide.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, like I said, all this information can be vetted. I get everything off the History Channel. It's right here in front of the page. September 24th, 1789, the first Supreme Court is established. Back in 1779.
Okay.
All right, 1948, Mildred Gallars, a.k.a. Axis Sally, pleads not guilty to treason. Okay. 2016, the National Museum of African American History and Culture opens. Okay, why didn't that 2016? How come that wasn't a little quicker? 1968, first episode of 60 Minutes airs. I did not know that. 1968, 60 Minutes.
Their topic was the Vietnam War.
Is 60 Minutes even on anymore? Is it 60 Minutes even on anymore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Wow. I did not know it. All right. Oh, nope, can't play the video. They flag us. Fanny Farmer opens cooking school, 1902. Fanny Farmer opens a cooking school in 1902. I guess that may be the first cooking school, I guess. 1941, Japanese officials in Hawaii ordered to gather preliminary data on Pearl Harbor. Japanese officials in Hawaii ordered to gather preliminary data on Pearl Harbor.
So they know how to attack.
Yeah, which is sad. That's another black eye for this country. 1969, Chicago 8 trial opens in Chicago. Chicago 8. Now, you guys might remind me, was it the young teens or is that the mafia people? Which one was that?
I think that was the mafia people.
Okay, Chicago 8, all right. Dean, I'm sure Dean will listen in a second, Dean.
He'll correct us if we're wrong.
Yep. He does too.
Yeah, he's quick about doing that.
Good
We like that too.
Yep.
Yeah,
we want right.
We want to stay correct.
Yep, we do. 1988, Ben Johnson wins gold temporarily. You know why it's temporary?
No.
It was a disqualification.
Yeah.
But Ben Johnson was freaking fast. Okay. Go back to some of the videos. His butt ain't very far off the ground when he's running. He is moving. 1964, Warren Commission reported delivered to the President Johnson. 1971, good year. Yes. A game warden is reported missing.
You think?
He ran in 1971. He ran across somebody's steel.
Yeah, you read. Yeah.
I guarantee you that's what that was. 1948, Honda Motor Company is incorporated. 48. Wow. And 1944, Allies began retreat after massive losses in Operation Market Garden.
Oh boy, that was an absolute disaster.
That wasn't when I read about it. That was
a fiasco.
Blind monkey should have.
Oh.
Anyway, guys, we report you decide. There you go. That's what happened on this day in history. And we get up off here now. We're gonna go do our segment here that we like to do here. Hopefully, this next segment bring closure to somebody else. Let's see. Catch up on the comments real quick. Finally got my liver working right, so I'm speedy. Appreciate it, bro.
Hey,
Dean,
all right.
Put in the comments how long now is it?
How long now, Dean?
Yeah, he quit drinking. Dean did.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So he's been giving us updates. Says, yes, 60 Minutes. It's on 57th season.
Woo.
Okay. There wasn't mobsters, or they weren't mobsters. They were hippie Democrats. Oh,
hippie Democrats.
well, then there you go.
About the same thing.
I knew he figured. 45 plus days.
45. Oh, outstanding,
Dean. Good job.
Yeah.
Yes,
that is awesome.
Yes, it is. He said he just wanted to quit drinking. No reason, just wanted to quit. So there you go. All right, let's go in here to one of my favorite segments called Missing Person segments. And I hope someone has the enclosure for his family. Guys, if you recognize these people, please don't hesitate. I'm sure their family is missing them. Okay. Donita Wilkerson. Okay, I'll blow her picture up here so you can take a good look at her. Looks like there's a vehicle that's in question. We'll get into that in the information. Some people with her. I don't know if that's her or a person of interest. All right. So date of birth, March 14th, 1976. Place of birth, Evansville, Indiana. Her hair is black, eyes are brown. She's 5'3". She looks a little taller than that. Huh? 5'3", weight 145 pounds at the time of her disappearance. She's a female, and she's of the black race. Scars and marks. Anita Wilkerson has multiple tattoos, including a heart on her lower back, praying hands with the name Timmy. That means she's lost someone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On the upper right shoulder, and a cross on her upper left shoulder. The details, I'm sure they're weird. We've had a lot of weird detailed ones. Strange. Donita Wilkerson was last seen on June 21st, 2020 at 8:16 p.m. at the local Evansville, Indiana motel, getting into a silver-colored 2004 Chevy Suburban. We showed that a while ago. We'll show it again. Picture displayed above. Yeah. Donita's phone was shut off by the next morning. Her family reported her missing when she didn't call her mother or her daughters. She's got kids. She got kids. as she usually did. Danita had several medical conditions that require medication that she was without. Wow. If you have any information concerning this person, you may contact the FBI Indianapolis office at 317-595-4000 or the Evansville Police Department at 812-436-7979 or tips at 812-435-6194. You may contact your local FBI office or nearest embassy or consulate in Indianapolis. And of course, as usual, if you don't want to give your name or number, you can submit a tip online. One more time, guys, I'm going to show you your pictures. I'll make sure we get a good look at that car. Seems to be a point of focus. Can't really tell much about the gentleman there, but
no,
this is all he got to work with. I'm assuming that's her.
Yep, probably is. Probably a different picture.
Yeah.
From a different day or something there, but around the same time frame.
She got wild socks on.
Yep.
That's cool. All right, guys, there was there. If you got any information, please contact the people. Oh, guys, got to behave. My executive producer's in the house. What's up, Jennifer?
Hello, Jennifer.
Blue Phoenix, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. She keeps things going. She's responsible for the intro, and I appreciate it a great deal. Let me see. Got it right here. Woohoo, Dean. Way to go. Yes, that's right. That's true, Dean. Thank you. And Dean, I quit drinking August 9th, 2024. Y'all can do the math. No, I can't do the math either. All right, we got all the trivia out of the way.
All right.
All right, guys, we're going to dive back into the topic here. We got the gentleman here. They were kind enough to wait and enjoy some of the memes and stuff.
Yeah.
I posed a question already. What about the women? How the women feel? What's the women you talk to, and what's their response? Because you figure the women will be taking up arms right next to you or leading. Okay, I think now I know some of the modern women coming up are not like the women of old. We all had that grandmother who would bust your ass, okay,
yeah,
and didn't care. You don't see the mamas, the mammies no more. Explain us about what the women said in this issue, gentlemen.
We have the same question. We have one woman that's in our little group that's leading this fight, and she is amazing. The pastor's wife at Passion Church.
Yeah, met her.
Yep, but they don't live inside the city limits of Cameron, so the school will not allow them to speak. But I have the same concerns and questions. Where are the mothers that are upset about the garbage that the school is providing their kids? I don't see it either. I don't understand. Paula is the woman's name who is in this fight with us. She hears from mothers all the time, but unfortunately I agree with you, but I can't come and speak because I'm afraid my child will be retaliated against. Always an excuse, and I don't understand it.
I'll tell you, it's easy for me to understand. You can voice your opposition on situations like this, and Cameron has got to be one of the worst communities I know of, talking about social media. If you go against the norm, try to stand up for what is right, you're going to be trashed and bashed and lied on from now to all eternity. And if you do have a business, you can bank on it. They're going to nail your hide to the wall and trash you any way they can, even if they got to make it up. And I have seen this, and it has gotten worse and worse and worse. And I don't see it changing. This is why you have a lot of people in this community that will not go to the board meeting. They will not stand up. They will not talk and voice their opposition because they know it's either going to affect them or their children through them. And it will happen. I'll guarantee you it's happened to my family. Okay. And I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience.
Well,
okay.
I can second that because
You guys have experienced a little bit. That's your own self,
gave us
trashed
the
and
works.
bashed.
Yeah.
And yes, they will. And they will make up a lie just to be what they want to be. So yeah, this is why you're not going to get a lot of community involvement. And until some of the swamps get cleaned out around here and people's attitudes start to turn and change, don't expect any more support at these board meetings other than what you're getting. It's the same way with the city council meetings. It's the same way. Guarantee you.
I see that. And I'll tell you this. When they put their name online, and I'm speaking for me, not you guys, and I see their name, I'll go look for them. That's just the type of man I am. You lie on me and try to kill off my dream, I'm whipping your ass. I'll say it right on here, Facebook, and whatever they want. I'm that type of guy. I'm from that ilk. I'm from that family that everybody heard about in Jamesport. I am the Outlaws. I am part of the Outlaws. Okay? That's why people, when they say something about me, they don't put their name.
Mm-hmm.
Either they know or they don't know, need to be introduced. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So now this town has killed the comedy vets in this town.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I allowed you guys on a long time ago. When I first allowed you on, had people saying, "You're going to kill comedy?" I told them, "You don't come nowhere anyway."
Yeah.
The same people complain about, we won't come and spend no money at your show. You don't come anyway.
Yeah. So big
you don't
deal.
know nothing about what kind of comedy I do. I've won comedy awards. I've won comedy shows. Best of night, standing ovations. I know I'm funny. Okay, I got evidence to prove it. They don't come. That's their problem. So in return, I don't put on any more shows in this town.
Yeah.
But I go all the way around this town and fill the damn arena.
Yeah.
Figure that out. Okay. I was in Excelsior Springs, Missouri, about 4 years ago, and I was talking to a gentleman. He goes, I said, "Well, my office is over in Cameron. This is our office. You guys see it. We got a bunch of crap in here, but it's ours." Okay. And he goes, "Wow, you guys don't do much in Cameron no more, do you?" I said, "No." He said, "Let me tell you why." He said, "You can give Cameron, Missouri, construction paper, 2 crayons, and they can't draw a buck unless you're in." Okay. So I don't know. I've been over 8 years doing this thing, and it's hard to get people to come here. We put on a Warrior Fest right outside of town here. 2 people from Cameron came. It was local. 2 people from Cameron came. The rest of the 50, 60, 70 people came were all around. Just saying. So I know they hold grudges. I don't care.
Yeah. I lose no sleep over
If you want to discuss something with me, let me know where you're at.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly.
And it shouldn't be like that. And I know I'll get thrown in jail. I don't care.
Yeah, right.
But you need people you need people. I don't care.
You gotta have thick skin.
If you don't want to come to my business, somebody else will come in. Because if you're sticking up for these people, this guy's like, "Where I want to eat." Well, them guys favor they help kids. Let's go. I give my money to him. This guy might have left, but I'll give my money there because they support kids.
Right.
There's a big problem with y'all hanging signs out. When the hell was it? Dino's Restaurant? I like Dino's. I'm not promoting them. I like their home. To me, it's a very good place. Okay. But they didn't have any backbone when it came to the sign. What they did do, they made it nobody can hang a sign. That's probably the fairest way.
Fairest way.
Fairest way to handle it. Nobody hang a sign. That's kind of the Kelly's Fireworks out here. They let people put them out in the yard. Everybody, Republicans, Democrats, whoever, put them out there.
Okay, it's just like when you all were running for school board, and you needed a venue. Okay. Okay. So the American Legion opened the building so you could have a venue. Immediately, the Legion was taking sides and started getting trashed because of that. No, we weren't taking sides. All we did was offer a place for a debate to happen. It's nobody's fault that nobody from the other side showed up. Everybody was invited all the way around. That's just one little example of why nobody wants to do anything in this community, because you can't do it without people jumping in, running their mouth, and don't have a clue what they're talking about.
Right. We have a Tracy Morgan, great female. She comes on here all the time. Right. Not from Cameron, but she's from here, Missouri. And she comes on here to talk about the after effects of suicide. Okay?
Yeah.
I might not agree with her politics, but we have something in common. We don't want you to commit suicide, but when you do, then she steps in for the family.
You bet.
We had a guy on here, Mr. Cox. Liberal as all liberal can be. came on the show. People were like, I'm surprised. Why are you surprised? I opened my platform to anybody. Anybody come on here. I've had police on here. I'm not a police guy, but I don't think we ought to defund them. Okay. But we had all public on here. You know, the age difference between him and I. We're veterans, we're common. We don't agree all the time. I opened the platform for everybody to come on, and they said, well, I've never been on your show. I don't know who you are. Well, you know how to get hold of me.
Yeah.
Right? And so
come right on.
That, when you said that, it kind of hit because, man, that's, I don't want to call them cowards because I'm sure they want the drive to do right. But they're just, I guess they're just nervous. Maybe
Well,
not really scared.
Heath is right. I mean,
You know?
they perceive that they've got a lot to lose, whether it's reputation, whether it's business, whether it's kids at school,
Mhm.
you know, whether it's maybe they're school employees and they don't,
Yeah.
don't want, it's just, there's a lot of reasons and we understand that. But what we don't understand, at least what I don't understand, is why we don't have our pastors in the forefront leading this charge.
Exactly.
And that's exactly why in February, in March of 23, when this whole thing blew up, I addressed the Cameron School Board, and at that time the president was Dan Kircher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a pastor, Dan Kircher.
Know
And
your name to me.
so
I might know Dan.
and we were friends. I mean, not that we hung out, but we were friends
Right.
until after that. But and I pled with him. It's on video. I'm like, and I explained, look, we've got a two-pronged issue. It's a legal matter and then it's a moral matter. It's both. And I said, Dan, I said, I'm pleading to you. We need your support. We need your help because you're a pastor. I mean, we are supposed to go to our men of the cloth, right? Our religious leaders, in cases like that. And I just assumed, wrongly, of course, but I just assumed
me too.
that he would jump on it. I mean, I could never see that. I never saw that coming, that he would condone, and by not taking any action. Actually, they did take action. They threw roadblocks up at us. They made it more difficult for us to even bring that topic up for discussion at the board meetings. So that immediately told me that something was wrong. And then I approached my own pastor. I'm Catholic, the Catholic priest here in town. I like the guy. Okay, Father Tom, if you're watching, love you, but we needed you and you weren't there. We still need you and you're not there. And I don't know. I'm hurt, disappointed, shocked. Because if your pastor's not going to stand up and call this garbage out, then who else?
Right.
And God bless the Hardys.
And see, that's the thing. We said earlier, people don't want the church until they need it. Flip that around the other way. When you need the church, when you need them the most, it seems like you can count on them the least.
Right.
Now, maybe not the big churches up where they got funding, where they don't care. But around here, I understand. It's all money. It's all money-driven thing. They're not going to get enough in that collection plate to pay for the bills. I get it. But that of morality, you can't look at the law. The law's corrupt and immoral. The church is what you got to do.
Right.
How many times the church fed some mother of three kids who was down on her luck, and the church fed them and didn't charge them a dime?
Right.
That's the same thing. You're helping the family. We need your help here too. It's the same exact help. I don't know. I don't know what else is.
Richie, we had one church, and I won't out him.
You won't out him? Okay.
I won't. Maybe he'll hear this and step up. Didn't like how I handled it. I was too confrontational. I didn't give him an opportunity to handle the book issue because I blew it up and posted it all over social media.
Okay.
I said then, and I'll say it again now, if the church will step up and lead this fight, I'll go back to minding my own business at home.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
I will relax. But if nobody is going to continue this fight or take up this fight from me, I'm going to continue.
Right.
If they would like me to cool my jets and think that there's a better way to handle it, step up, lead, and then I will follow their lead.
As an old boy once said one time, lead, follow, or get out of the way.
Indeed.
You mentioned the Lake Viking Church. Yeah, they're. I know that I've talked to the pastor. They do a Saturday morning once a month. Saturday mornings, Christian men's get together, and do breakfast, and just a little socializing. It's about an hour long. I've been to that a few times, and he's been there. We've talked. Super great guy, but they're outside of the district,
Right.
So when the school, again, they put all these rules up, these roadblocks up to make it hard for people to come up and talk about this stuff, because now you've got to be a resident, and anyway, so but they would be very supportive. And I know there's the Baptist Church in Kidder Baptist Church. They've actually attended school board meetings.
They brought
here
the
in
church
town.
bus over and brought the parishioners to sit in there and just be a presence to say, hey, folks are concerned. We've got more churches coming in from out of town than we do the ones that are coming here in town.
Yeah, and I don't get it. Listen, now I don't like talking a lot of politics on here because that's the fastest way to get somebody to fight each other. But we're gonna talk a little bit about the political thing here. Is there something in the works if we have a change? I don't mean just a presidential change. I mean, because the governor's out. He's done. He did his thing. Thank you, sir. Move on. And whoever's coming in. Mike Kehoe is favored. I'm not saying he's going to win. I'm saying he's favored. Is there something pressing with them guys? Maybe Trump. I know he was approached about this issue. I remember it was on YouTube. He was approached about it, and he said that it's filthy to him. He wants to eradicate it. Yeah. I want to eradicate it. Get it out of here. It's bad. Very bad. 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 Worst ever seen. I do about 20 different impressions. But is there something coming down? Because I'm starting to feel like you guys are alone in this fight. Is there reinforcements coming?
Yeah, well, the best thing if Trump gets elected and if he survives the election, right?
Yeah.
The best thing he could do is defund the Department of Education, basically. And not him, I say, but he could set that tone. Congress could defund it and essentially make it obsolete, and it would shrivel up like fruit on a vine, because and turn education back over to the states where it belongs anyway.
Yeah. I ran for president this year. I didn't. Of course, I didn't get enough to get on the thing. But one of my platforms were what I was going to do was I was going to start education. It's called the United States Education Fund, and I was going to go approach the owners of the NFL, baseball, basketball, all these major sports. There's so many sports out there, right? Professional sports. And I was going to present this to you and say it like this, guys. I'll lower your taxes down to 10% if you take 5% of that and put it in my fund I'm creating, the United States School Fund. Okay, you know how much money would flow through there from these sports? These are all billion-dollar organizations. Okay, even 5% would go a long way. I said then I was going to make a law when they did get that money. It went for school, the funding school, like paying teachers and school buses, books, whatever, and mental health. And it can't be touched for anything else. That's it. Okay. And I presented that. I'll come up with that about 10 years ago, but I presented to a politician. He was on board with it. Now he says, well, the Democrats, I bring that up, and Democrats won't allow that's a great idea. I'm thinking, why ain't that a great idea? Tell me right now what billionaire won't want to go from 35% taxes down to 10% and actually only paying 5% if they pay the other 5% there. You kidding me? They jump on board with that.
Because they're all about soaking the rich. So
right.
And what I would also do, I would take this is where you and I are going to differ. I think we ought to have one curriculum for all the states. Okay. Pay for it like through my fund, but one curriculum. Everybody sit down and figure out what curriculum you want in the government. And all the states have to go by it. And I'll tell you why. Because when I lived in Des Moines, Iowa, when I was a kid, I moved down to Missouri. In Des Moines, my freshman year, I studied world history. When I came down to Missouri over Jamesport, my freshman year, we studied American history. Okay. I was behind significantly. Now, in return, the next year, I come out of the gates ahead. But it happens a lot, and they're not teaching the same thing. Teachers involve their opinion. Hang up flags of certain political people, their opinion. I was going to take all that out of there, right? Listen, if a redneck can think of that, why can't somebody else think of that?
Yeah.
and there's money to go around. So it ain't really a money issue. So why? I wonder if Trump, and what you guys thought about something like that, and wonder if Trump couldn't do it, because Kamala ain't gonna do it because she don't know where the hell she's at. And I think she likes things the way they are.
She's a Marxist.
Yes.
She's too busy tossing salad.
Yeah, and not the good kind of,
just
with blue cheese.
She talks salad. Yeah.
So I mean, something like that, I think would help. Put the power to the states, but have one federal curriculum that everybody has to learn the same things. Okay, no teachers can't bring in their own opinions. You can't have Hustler magazine basically given out to kids in schools. Okay, can't smoke. Can't drink. Those are basic rules. Okay, and cell phones got to be turned off. Yeah. Of course, I know some people differ from me on that, because what if something happens? You got to be able to call. That does happen. But lock down these schools. Like Hamilton. Hamilton, you got to buzz your way in, and your face is on the thing. And they're not going to let you in unless you got business there. Okay? And I think all schools ought to implement something like that. They said there's no money. So what I just said, and I know it was long, I apologize for that, but what do you guys think about something like that to kind of help out, the goings-ons?
I don't think that there's anything out there that I have seen, Richie, that is going to be a solution. Okay. Even if they defund the Department of Education. Vincent mentioned it earlier in one of his comments. Only about 7% of the total funding for the Cameron School District comes from the Department of Education. The remainder of it is personal property tax and the taxes that are provided by the state. So I don't know that the president could do anything. And I'm not aware of Kehoe or anybody else that has an issue in wanting to see significant changes in Missouri school.
Okay. Now it looks like we're going to have a big, massive change some way.
It's going to take voters in Cameron.
Yeah, voting is the best way to do it. I know a lot of people are like, well, let's go down there and beat people up. That's my mentality, not everybody's mentality.
Figure a way to get them out to the polls.
Yeah, you got to. Well, you got to have something on the ballot though.
Something never seems to.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. They're not
motivate them.
Yeah, they're not on the ballot. So
we heard a lot from folks that would say, "Well, I don't even have kids in the district anymore. I don't have a dog in the fight," and that frustrates me because they absolutely do. If you're paying taxes to the district and these kids that are going to be the doctors when I'm an old senile fart are in school right now, and they're learning that a boy can be a girl and a girl can be a boy, and that a penis doesn't mean that you're male, that a boy can become pregnant. They're learning that garbage in our schools today. And those are going to be the doctors that's going to be taking care of me when I don't remember what my name is.
Yeah, I was one of those guys that thought that way for a while because I didn't want to pay taxes. I didn't have no kids in school anymore. Didn't want to pay it. Then I got to thinking, that's kind of a selfish statement because you want to protect the children. I can't sit here on my platform and say, look out for kids and not want to pay for the future kids. Have better schools so they get smarter because we got a lot of dumb people coming out of school. Okay, so I had to amend my statement. And I'm being honest with you. I was one of those guys that thought that for a little bit because I didn't want to, I believe that we do have to pay it. If you're paying that money, guys, for your taxes, go out there and have an opinion. Okay. They can't tell you can't have an opinion. There's just a way. You got to find a way. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you got to go to your courthouse, representatives. If you don't want to go to school board meetings, get on the phone. Call some people up on your school board or call some people in your law office, wherever. Just call somebody, your politicians, whatever. Because this needs to be a way to vote. Then you go vote it out. Then everybody can just go to the ballot box and fight at the ballot box. Okay. And because it ain't like it ain't never been done before, fight the ballot box. And I mean, cast your vote. Okay. One vote and get took care.
When it comes to the kids, does it have to be your child to care?
No, absolutely not.
If your kid and the neighbor kid are playing, in the yard and the ball rolls out in the street, are you only going to stop your kid from going out in the street and let the neighbor kid run out there and get hit?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so people feel like you said that, well, my kids are grown, no grandkids in school, so I'm done. And I was that way too, you know.
Yeah.
When,
I just was. I was foolish and didn't think about. I didn't think about it long term.
Right. Right.
Because you're right. If I see kids in my yard, I'd save them all.
Sure.
Also, when I was growing up, if one kid does something wrong, everybody got an ass whipping.
I got a neighborhood full of little kids now.
Equal
I mean,
opportunity.
So I would implore the folks here in Cameron, in the school district, that are paying taxes, whether you want to or not, it's compulsory. If you are afraid, for whatever reason, to use your voice, then get a hold of Heath or I privately, and maybe we can be a voice for you.
Yeah.
And we've got some parents that are on board with that share information, and we keep everything confidential. We don't release names, especially if they don't want us to.
Right.
Some people don't care, but others do. And so if you do you have our website, or can we?
No, you just give it to me and I'll put it up.
Page?
Yeah. Attach to the Facebook page, whatever you want to do.
So I mean, just private messages, and we'll be glad to respond and work with you any way we can.
Yeah.
The school district, see, my kids are grown. I think they're about grown. So and they won't let us in the school. It's crazy because like you said a while ago, what are they hiding, right?
Right. Exactly.
And so if we had parents with kids in the school that can be eyes and ears, that would be a huge help.
Yeah.
I'm not saying turn kids into spies, but there are so many things going on besides books that affect the kids. Bullying, drugs, that kind of thing. So, it's more than just the books, but it started with the books.
Right.
And that's really where my focus is. But if a parent comes and says, hey, can you help us out with this bullying thing? Well, tell us about it. Maybe we can.
Yeah. I know a couple of years ago, my grandson, one of them that's going to jail, he's a hothead, but we're trying to get him to, not to be a hothead, but he comes home all the time and says things he heard on the bus. Okay. And he'll tell you flat out. I mean, I'm not going to get depicting some things on here, but I'm just going to say he came up and said, Papa, what does this sexual position mean? How old are you? Come here. Where'd you hear that at? Well, I got on the bus. Oh, well, maybe I need to start riding your bus a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we had parents when I was a kid, they come and sit on the damn bus and ride around because their kid was a butthead until they were on there. Maybe I need to go on there. But I don't know who you can believe, who you can't believe, but Vincent said, I missed the opportunity of life for 33 plus years. And now I'm in the abyss of exposing darkness for our children's protection. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Well, guys, listen, we've been here with Dean, or not Dean. Dean's on here. Dean got me because
Dean's here too.
Dean's awesome. Yeah.
He's
And we're here with
here
Dean.
too.
Yeah. We're with Dan Landi and Heath Gilbert. We're talking about the school boards, guys. And we're coming down to the end of the show. I want to thank you, gentlemen, both.
Yes. Thanks for being
For
here.
the work that you do. I know you probably don't hear it enough, or if you even hear it all, but thank you for what you do. If you ever need a platform when I restart back, after November or between now and we're done, you want to come back on, you can. But I'll be in touch somehow, some way if you all wanted to have another platform to get out there again and come on and talk about what you're doing. It's very important. Sounds like you're running out of options, but you guys continue thinking. And you're idea men, and we need idea men. Okay, we don't need hotheads. We need guys to think. There'll be time and place to be a hothead. You guys are doing it the right way, so we thank you guys very much and thank all you guys out there for joining us. We appreciate it a great deal.
Yep. Thanks for all our listeners that tuned in, that put up with us.
Yeah. Put up a couple of rednecks talking. Silly bastards.
Yeah, I know.
You want to give us a closing?
Yep. Listen, there's a lot going on. Just remember that the main thing is that you're valuable and you mean something. And no matter what anybody says, you're not in this alone. As JW says, I'd rather spend 30 minutes listening to you than 30 minutes at your eulogy. Reach out, get help if you need it. Don't let this world drag you down. You made it today, you can make it another day. It's important that you stay strong. It takes a strong person to ask for help. So give us a holler. We'll talk. We'll listen. Somebody will listen. But just remember that you're valuable and you mean something.
Well said, as usual, brother. You know, you are not worthless. You have value.
Absolutely.
Unless you're a child molester, you know how I feel about them. They ain't got nothing. But we can't have everybody the same in this country. We need different people to function. Life would be so damn boring. The suicide rate would probably go up even higher because it'd be bored. So you have value. Please, if you need help, 988. You can even text it now, 988. Or you can get hold of someone on here. 22 a day is what the veterans in this country commit suicide. And some of our numbers that you and I researched come out are 45.
45, yeah, because the VA's picking up on different things now.
My goodness, at the end of the year, you're wiping out towns like Savannah, Missouri,
yeah.
3/4 of St. Joe. At the end of the year.
And it's not just veterans. We're talking teenagers here.
Teenagers, or 12 teenagers commit suicide every day.
Every day, 12.
Wow. You're almost there, guys. A couple more years, you're out of school. You're almost there.
Yeah.
And then you
get
make
your whole life ahead of you.
I know school's rough sometimes. That being said, take care of yourselves. Get your pet spayed or neutered.
Yes, make Bob Barker happy.
The last show, the pros and cons. Spayed and neutered. Woo! Spayed and neutered. I'm tired of tripping. Christian man.
Yes.
Just have your pet spayed or neutered, okay? That being said, guys, we'll be back Tuesday. We got 8 more shows left to go. Then we're
on the countdown.
We'll out for a while, and we're going to retool and come back. If you need it, if you guys want to come on and talk about something concerning the veterans or concerning children or anything, hit me up. You know how to get a hold of me. A couple comedy shows coming up. Come out and join. I'm Richie King, comedian, bad man of comedy, saying Dona Dog Ahoy, Osta Usvi. That means until we meet again, good night. You guys take care of yourselves. We'll see you on the rebound. Have a good time.
Yep.